Benchmark Business Sales and Valuations proudly presents the Meaning Business Podcast, hosted by Bruce Kudry and Peter Spinder. This is the podcast for anyone serious about buying, selling, and preparing your business for maximum growth.
Pete, we've been meeting a lot of widows lately.
Unfortunately, we have, and sounds pretty morbid, but that's the reality.
Yeah, so you might say, why are you meeting widows? And we don't want to.
Definitely don't.
But what's happening is, and it's incredibly common, is lately, is that people have owned a business, they've passed away unexpectedly, and the family, the wife usually, the widow, doesn't know how to run the business, doesn't know where the bank accounts are, doesn't know where anything's kept, has no idea, and needs to sell. Gives us a call and we talk to them. Sometimes they get their accountant or lawyer to talk to them. Sometimes they'll just wind it up and shut it down, which is a real shame because the shutting down is a shame, but the not having a succession plan or an exit strategy is a bigger shame. Because if they had that plan in place and everyone would know what the plan was, if the owner had passed away, they could have just switched to that plan and taken care of things.
Absolutely.
And not have to wind it up.
And the other shame aspect of that is that quite often that causes problems inside the family, and a previously okay family that seemed to be quite close and quite together ends up having these arguments and falling out because they can't come to an agreement in terms of what to do moving forward.
Because there wasn't a plan.
That's right.
I've seen it not with just business owners, but with farmers too. So farmer has two sons. One works on the farm, one doesn't. Farmer passes away. The son that's worked on the farm expects that he's going to inherit the farm. And the son that doesn't work on the farm thinks that he should get half the value of the farm as his inheritance. That can become messy.
Absolutely.
And it's the same in business. You know, I had one where there was two business owners, two partners working in a business, both worked in the business. One partner passed away and the other partner took over the business. But the widow of the gentleman who passed away now owns half this company. She's not working in there. He's working in there. She, it became messy because she didn't trust him, I suppose, and he didn't want her around. His position possibly was that he was doing all the work, so he should get all the money. But, if without a succession plan or an exit strategy or some sort of agreement in place to start with, it just becomes terrible.
Very messy, messy. And the thing is, leaving it too late is an issue. So we're dealing with someone at the moment, and you know this person, who we've identified as in early dementia stages.
Yes, exactly.
And this individual, even though there's a need, and the people working within the business family members know that there's a need to go through the succession process, the problem they've got is that this person is the majority shareholder, and because of the dementia, it's very, very difficult now to try and get Dad to make the decisions and to do the right things. He keeps forgetting conversations and keeps forgetting appointments and who we are and what we're about. And that's right. And family is now panicking because they're like, okay, well, this is a big business.
It's a well-known business. People out listening to this would know that company.
That's right. And they're wondering, okay, well, what's going to happen when Dad goes even further into dementia? So I guess the message here is that we don't want to be seeing those sort of situations happen, and it's all avoidable. It is all avoidable if, as business owners, we're always thinking at it from the position of my business needs to be sale ready, exit ready, succession ready at any point in time. Because we don't know, first of all, what happens in life, and second of all, at some point in time, we all want to retire. We want to retire. Hang up the business owner hat to an extent.
Well, we should want that.
And that's why I say to an extent, because maybe you want to sit on the board of directors or whatever it might be, but you want to enjoy the fruits of your labour and enjoy the time that you've got left.
Yeah, life's short. Life's too short to be... what a sad way to live your life. You work your butt off so that you can enjoy your retirement, and you get to the point where you retire and you're too old to enjoy it.
That's right.
That's so sad. Look, there's three types of plans that every business owner should have. A business plan, a marketing plan, a succession plan. Succession or exit, there's a slight difference, right?
Yep, absolutely.
But for some reason, some people have a business plan. Fewer people have a marketing plan, even though a lot of people think marketing is the solution for everything. And almost none have an exit plan or a succession plan. A good advisor will get their client to do those things. A good advisor will say, okay, we need a business plan, important.
Yep.
We need a marketing plan, keeps things running. But most importantly, we need an exit strategy. We need to have a pot of gold at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel, a reason to do all this. As you often say, Pete, you make your money out of your wage, your income,
right.
the profit the
Dividends.
business derives, but there's that sale price that is also part of what you make out of the business.
So the clients we're working with at the moment, we're coming at it from exactly that angle, and we're challenging them to think long term. We're challenging them to build exit and succession into their plans. Now, the big difference between the two, exit tends to be more the transactional type of process of going out of a business. So exit is more if you're going to be selling the business on the market, or I don't know, listing on the ASX, whatever it might be. Succession, on the other hand, tends to have similar components to the exit. However, it is more focused on the human aspect, which means, is there someone on the team that can come and take over my role and therefore succeed me in my role? Or am I going to give it to someone in my family and are they going to come in and take over? Now, in some situations, you have both. So the exit looks after perhaps the operational aspects. We've got to fix this, this and this in order for, I don't know, Mika, my son, to come in and take over the business. And that's the succession component. And then the succession component looks at, okay, if my son is to come into the business, for example, how do we groom him so that he's ready or she's ready to come in and step over, hand over the reins to that person, and I know with full confidence that they've got the skills and capabilities to run with it and keep building on what I've built.
And it's interesting to see what's going on with Rupert Murdoch at the moment, getting Lachlan to take over.
Yes.
Reluctantly, I think, some of his businesses. And you can see a lot of business owners like Rupert Murdoch, I suspect. And there's that TV series on Netflix, Succession, which kind of touches on this too, where they don't want to, A, let go, and B, they don't want the successor to do better than them. That would be humiliating. I got to see that a lot in small business where the patriarch has started the business and his sons come in and take over, and he doesn't want them to do better than him because that's embarrassing. How ridiculous!
But that's exactly what should happen. It should be every
take
new
it
person
forward,
comes
son.
in, take it forward.
Oh,
So really, in terms of how do we plan for retirement? One of the first things you've got to do is get rid of that ego. And understand that at some point in time you have to let go of the reins. So you might as well let it go in the best possible way because, like we said before, your weekly paycheck, you get your dividends, but you can make considerable amount of income when you sell that business or when you exit out of the business the right way. Now, in terms of how do we go through this process, well, the first thing that you've got to do is understand, well, what's the purpose of this retirement? So I've got some notes here, but there are 4 key purposes. So first of all, there could be an issue in the business that you believe you can't solve and you just don't want to move forward anymore. You believe it's better suited to someone else and you've got to exit out of that business. It could just be simply that it's time to retire. You've hit that particular age and you're ready to put the boots up and go and do something else. It could be you've got some personal issues. So whether it be illness, it could be cancer, whatever it might be, or some financial issues personally that you need to tend to. And it could also simply be that you've just had enough. You've had enough of the business. You're worn out. You just want to go in a different direction. So that's the first thing you need to identify what it is, because that then sets up the playing field, the landscape of how you move forward, what your strategy looks like, how long that strategy will be put in place for. If, for example, you're doing it because you've got terminal illness and you've got, say, God forbid, 6 months to live, it's going to be a very different strategy to if you're wanting to retire in the next 3 years' time and we're planning for that sort of exit.
Totally. But here's the thing. Doesn't matter who owns what business, it's inevitable that eventually you won't own it or eventually you'll be out of there. You'll either die or you'll sell it.
That's right.
But inevitably you're going to get out of there. So you might as well plan for it.
Exactly.
So why is it that so many people don't do it? Why? It drives me crazy. Why don't people plan for it? And I think the reason is this, that humans don't take it seriously. Humans think, it's not going to happen to me. Men think, I'll put it off till another day. Yeah, that can wait. It's not important. It's like these business owners who want to save $1 by not engaging a lawyer or an accountant to sell their business and get everything prepared properly, you're
And
cost
then they
yourself
make
in
a
the long run.
mess of it, and they got to fix it up. It costs a lot more.
Exactly. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Eventually,
is.
you've got to do it anyway.
But the other thing that I've seen is that business owners are too busy working in the business. They don't spend enough time pausing
out.
and getting out, pausing and working on the business. And there's this working on and in the business concepts. But it's true. Working on the business means that we're actually planning for the inevitable, planning for things that could happen, risk mitigation, etc. Now, in terms of developing the plan, the other thing that a lot of people get wrong is overestimating how much they need at the exit, how much they need for retirement. You know, people might think, "Oh my God, I can't retire until I've got $10 million in my bank," whatever the figure
Or
is.
the
I don't
mortgage
care.
paid off.
The mortgage paid off, or whatever.
Some magic number.
That's right, because they haven't actually bothered to sit down and truly work out what it is that they're going to spend their time on and how much money they really need in order to achieve the things they want to achieve.
Yeah.
And there's a great book by Tim Ferriss, The 4-Hour Work Week. Listen to that book or read that book and you will see he's got the same message in there that if you understand truly what it costs to live and achieve the things you want to achieve, you'll be surprised because most people don't need $10 million in their bank account to have a very comfortable retirement. And that changes your perception of what you need to achieve with your business.
Yeah, definitely people, in my observation and yours, what you just said, wait too long or think they need this magic number for the day of retirement to be right for them. And usually, I would say, in my experience, it's too late.
Absolutely.
Usually they've waited too long. There's a guy, I hope this is relevant, there's a guy named Peter Sterling who was a rugby league player, very, very successful rugby league player. And he recently, at the age of 60, retired from commentary on TV on Channel 9. And he just plays golf. And it wasn't about how much money he had in the bank. He just knew that when he got to 60, that was it.
Yep.
He was a smart guy. He played rugby league, made some money from rugby league, obviously invested it well. Got into commentary, great gig. You work winters, weekends, and during summer you got time to yourself. He was offered coaching jobs with many football clubs, and there's no doubt he would have been a great football coach and he would have made good money. But his stress levels have been through the roof. The angst and garbage he would have had to put up with being incredible. Smart guy. He planned it from the start. When I get to 60, that's it.
Yep.
I'm out. It wasn't about a magic number. It wasn't about getting sick and can't go any further. He's got the rest of his life to enjoy himself
exactly
and live
right.
a real life.
Yep.
Why don't we all think like that,
Yep, that's it.
It's such a good plan.
Too much of the chase.
Yeah.
Now, in order to successfully exit, we've got a plan because the plan allows us to then understand, okay, what are the parts of the business that we need to improve, we need to fix. And when we're talking about improving, fixing, what we're trying to do, what we're actually doing is we're building the value. We're increasing the value of the business because the goal here, remember, goal here is number 3, we want to exit with the most amount of money in our bank. So if we do things today that add value tomorrow, then they're the activities we need to do because when it adds value tomorrow, it has more value in our bank account
Much
when
more.
we go to sell. It's just how it works.
Yeah.
But you can't do this if you haven't got a plan in place, if you're not properly implementing that plan, taking on other people's advice and moving forward with that goal of building a valuable business as opposed to just a business.
Yeah. When you meet business owners and you're diagnosing their situation, are you focusing predominantly on the now or you're focusing on the pot of gold at the end, which is the exit? What's
Dual. So it's a dual answer. So we focus on, it always starts with the same thing. Where do you want to go? What's the end goal from a personal point of view and from a business point of view? What's the current situation? So we understand the current situation and what do we need to achieve between now and when you want to exit in order to achieve a successful exit. And there's always going to be quick wins. There's always got issues in a business that we need to address today that have got nothing to do with the future view. But in fact, it does, because successfully fixing the current issues will allow us to fix the future issues.
Well, an extra $1 a year of profit today is worth probably $3 when you go to sell a business.
Exactly.
But what I've heard from you is that it seems to me that business owners are happy to look at what they can do now for the now, but they're a bit reluctant to look at what they need to do for the later on.
I find anything beyond 12 months and people's eyes just glaze over.
Why
It just
is
becomes too hard. Just
I see that too. But you know what I've found? If you can get that business owner to identify what it is they want to achieve out of the business and what they're going to do next and what their retirement or the next step looks like, and to really fall in love with that idea of what's next, suddenly they've got this light at the end of the tunnel. They've got a reason to go to work every day. They're motivated. You know, people when they start in a small business, they're motivated. They eat, sleep and breathe that thing. But then you get into this kind of boring, routine, mundane lifestyle.
You hit that plateau.
The business is like
Then
a
you start going
a chore.
backwards.
Yeah. But once you identify this exit strategy, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it, whoa, now we're back to
Absolutely.
those early
That's
days.
why when we develop these strategies, one of the first questions we ask, and even in the diagnosis, we ask this question: what would you do if you weren't in this business? And what are you going to do after the business? What are the things that you enjoy? What are your passions beyond the business that you've got? Is it cooking, travel? Is it whatever it might be? And then we use that as the fuel to create a new future state for that business owner that they can look forward to, they can start working towards, you know?
Do you find that business owners, when you talk to them about that, don't have an answer? They don't really know what it is they want to do? Is that common?
They think that they don't know.
Ah, right.
And then we ask enough questions and we ask it in the right way until eventually
You dig.
the story comes out. There's always a story.
Yeah.
I'm yet to meet someone who truly says, I have no idea. Yet to meet someone.
Interesting, yeah. So what else have you got there? Have you got anything else, Pete?
Well, I do. And I'd like to say this, that it's fantastic to go through this process. It's great to understand where you're at, where you want to go, having a plan, all of that sort of stuff. That's all good. But the reality is that is absolutely worthless and useless if you don't do anything about it and if you don't commit to it. You've got to stick to the process. You're not going to see outcomes in month 1 or 2. It takes time to make big change in a business, especially when you're looking at, say, a 3 to 5 year plan to exit out of your business. Succession in particular is difficult to achieve because of the human element.
Yep.
So it's got to be done in the right way. You've got to get advisors on board. And so if you want to go through this the right way, get advisors, make sure you build the right team structure around you and commit to the process and think long-term, not short-term. Absolutely critical.
So we started off today by saying I've been meeting too many widows, which is true. So what we don't want is any more widows. And the way we can avoid that, coming to us, the way we can avoid that is with business owners getting themselves an exit plan, as well as a business plan and marketing plan, and playing towards that exit strategy and having all their family members and all their advisors knowing what that plan is. So if something untoward does happen, they can kick it into gear and keep running smoothly.
Absolutely. As we've said it several times on this podcast series now, your business should be sale ready at any point in time. And a sale ready business is a valuable business. That's the business you want to be in.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks, Pete. That was good. Hope people got something out of that. And we'll see you next time on Meaning Business.
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks, everyone.